In the Spirit, by Caligastia Lanonandek. John 4 verse 24. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. Prayer is a one-way conversation at God. Speaking with him in the Spirit enables two-way communication. Forget everything you've ever read on the subject of astral projection, bilocation, or any other related subject. These books serve only to confuse and make a simple thing seem insurmountably difficult. Yes, it is simple. So much so that children play with the ability. When you were a kid, at some point in time you might have taken a long road trip with your parents. You sat in the back seat bored to tears and unable to do much about it. So, you turned inwards to that place adults call La La Land and entertained yourself mentally. You continued to do this, without giving it much thought, until someone told you it was time to grow up. At this point, the ability was put aside. It wasn't lost, just deemed useless. The key to the Spirit is imagination combined with the belief that you can. As with all things involving spirituality, evolutionary moment is a central point. Some are ready for it and others aren't. There is no guard at the gate. Each person determines the limits of what they will or won't do. There is no boogeyman on the other side of that gate, so there is nothing to fear. Try this simple exercise with a friend. Have him hold his hands out, palms up. You place your palms over his without touching. You will feel a heat. Point in fact, there is no heat to feel. Your body temperature is at 98.6 and so is the other person's. Thus, there is no heat exchange, but it feels as if there is. What you are actually doing is placing two energy fields, souls, into a positive-negative situation, completing a circuit. Because of it, you feel an energy flow. If this doesn't work right away with the person you chose for the experiment, try it with someone else. Next, go into a dark room, a bathroom or a closet at night. Close the door and make sure it is absolutely dark inside. Then hold your hand up in front of your face and examine it. You will see a fuzzy white energy field surrounding your hand. Now, close your eyes and you will continue to see the same image. Move it around, look at your arms, feet and so on. How can you see in the dark when there is no light to enable the eye to see? The answer is simple. The soul has eyes. Try taking a shower in the dark a few times. You'll find you can see more than you ever thought. These two exercises illustrate that things you've not paid attention to have been with you always, and that functioning in the Spirit is possible. Now, get yourself a comfortable chair and relax. Use a darkened room. Close your eyes and imagine yourself standing in orbit about 20 miles up from your location. See it in your mind's eye. See your feet. Look at the earth beneath your feet. Take note if it is day or night. Raise your hand and you'll see the same white energy field you saw in your exercise. Then, raise your arms upwards and request audience from Father. It's that easy. Whether you receive that audience or not, is of course, up to him. You should consider carefully what you wish to say to him, before you make the effort. A few tips. If you have trouble visualizing your place in orbit, get a picture taken from orbit and use it to focus on and to help you create your own mental image. When you do, you have actually bilocated, sending your soul to that place. It really isn't that big of a deal. With practice, you'll get better. As with any skill, the more you use it, the better you'll get at it. Next, when doing in-spirit communications, you usually won't hear words audibly through your ears. They arrive as a thought which you should be able to identify was not your own. Father has a very distinctive feel about him. When done, you'll be impressed. However, the next moment you'll hit is in talking yourself out of the experience. Was it real, or did I make it up as wishful thinking? With practice, you'll know. This is why I've established the practice of confirmation. I wouldn't recommend it with Father even though he has indulged me on this point. In teaching MindLink, in the spirit communications, to the Advents, Old One would receive a message from one of them, relay it to me, and then I'd feed it back to the originating person. In this fashion, the individual knew that they had successfully transmitted, it was received and correctly sent back, forming the confirmation. It also established the existence of Old One even though they'd not had first-hand eyes-on experience with him. Two of the Advents made a practice of sending, receiving, and then confirming once a week via chat over the internet. Practice, practice, and more practice. You might have noted that the would-be messiahs and gurus would require that you go through them, for a fee, in order to speak with God. This scam has been with man since the dawn of time. Father has told you that he is with you, and in you, and around you always. Believe it. There is no need for an intermediary, and I am providing this information at his direction. You can go direct to the source. One other thing. Some people see a blue light rather than a white one. Not a big deal. File it under different strokes for different folks. One caveat. If you are a person with a psychiatric affliction, you should not do this. You already have enough on your plate.